there. Welcome to today's live. I am Dana Zivsek, travel agent educator. I am here with you today. I know it's been for many agents especially those agents who book a lot in the Orlando area. I know it has been a day. So if you are watching this on the replay, that is okay because I know it's been a very busy day with Disney World doing big promos for the rest of the year, and then Universal deciding to get in on the fun and doing the what's it called? All the express passes and VIP tours for Epic Universe. It's been a day. I've been up since 4:30. So, just so you know. Um and the reason why I was up at 4:30, I will tell you my secret. So I've been booking Disney. I've been a Disney specialist for a really long time, almost 12 years. And what I have learned is that on promotion release days for the general public, they will release the promotions very early. I started checking at 4:30. They came out about 5:30 because I checked at 4:30, then I got a shower. Then I checked at 5 and they were still not out, so then I dried my hair. And then by the time it was, after I dried my hair, I came on and I was like, yes, they're up. And I went through all of my reservations, got them all applied, and I just go through them very, very quickly because guess what? The system is probably going to fail at some point. Okay. So I go through all that really fast. And the night before, what you do also is, and these are just bonus tips. It's not about how to sell deluxe resorts. This is how to survive a Disney promo release day. But then like last night in my notebook, I wrote out all of the confirmation numbers of all my clients. So I went through all my bookings, even all my quotes, just like so I could have everything right there. And I just went quickly through everything. I typed in the confirmation numbers, no copy and pasting. I wanted to get through it and like I was done by I was out of the Disney system by like 6:30. So I was done. I was because I don't do anything else. I just work through the reservations and then afterwards I do the other work. Okay. I didn't have anybody who wanted to book the Epic Universe VIPs and things like that. So I haven't had to deal with Vax that much. I just had to do a quote. But either way, it's been a crazy morning, but it is very worthwhile to wake up early. And I'm on the East Coast. So I know if you're in the Midwest or West Coast, 5:30 would be what? Well, for West Coast, that would be minus 3 hours. So that's 2:30. And that's just like you just don't go to bed, do you? I don't know how you guys do that, but that was my morning. But I'm happy that is over, got the discounts for people and all that kind of stuff. And all right, so let's now talk about deluxe resorts. But actually, before we do that, and I'm just going to share this in the sales and marketing tips group because I want to make sure that it's in there. Okay, perfect. Live now. All righty, there we go. Perfect. Now today is also a very important day because it's Major League Baseball opening day. Welcome to baseball season, right? There are two times a year. There is winter and then there's baseball. Okay. And we are finally going to be watching live baseball. Now, I am from Philadelphia and I am a Philadelphia Phillies fan, tried and true. However, my husband is from Wisconsin. So my son likes to do everything Wisconsin. So we are now also Milwaukee Brewers fans. Ironic because my husband, who is the one from Wisconsin, was not a Brewers fan. He was a Phillies fan with me. And our 13-year-old son has gotten us. Now, I still root for the Phillies. When the Phillies play the Brewers, I go in neutral colors. Okay. I try to be neutral because, this is where I'm from. And he just likes to do everything opposite of Philly. That's how he is for football too. Basketball, I don't think he cares enough, but he does like Giannis, so I guess it would be the Wisconsin Bucks. But anyway, happy opening day. We're going to be at Yankee Stadium on Saturday because my son's team, the Brewers, they're playing the Yankees for opening weekend. So last year we actually went on opening day because he had off for spring break, and they were at Citi Field last year. So we're getting the 2 New York stadiums. My son wants to go to all 30 stadiums. So this is how we are, and actually this summer we're going to get a lot in. We're doing Midwest. We're doing Chicago, Wrigley, Cincinnati Reds, Miami Marlins. And guess what? With the Miami Marlins one, we're going to do a Disney cruise right before that too. I was like, oh, we can go on a cruise and then go to the Brewers Marlins. Perfect. So, in Toronto, we're going to Toronto as well. So it's going to be a great baseball year. So happy opening day. And then his team starts playing on Sunday. They have their first game on Sunday. So it's going to be a baseball weekend. I'm very excited. Okay, so now we're going to start talking 6 minutes into this live. We're going to start talking about the topic at hand. But we had to talk about, discount days. And then we also have to talk about opening day because it's opening day for baseball. It's like, of course, it's freezing here, but it should be nicer over the weekend. All right. So selling deluxe resorts or any deluxe elevated experience. It doesn't have to be labeled a deluxe, but a lot of times we see the price of something and is anybody going to pay that? Somebody always is willing. Okay. People are willing for the experience. So that is why when you first get a lead, you have to qualify them. You have to, and not just ask about budget. It's not always about budget. You want to know about experience. You want to know what experience they want to have when they get off the airplane and they get to their resort. What do they want? All right. And nobody's going to say, oh, we want a budget experience, but they might say, we want to get the most for our money. We want to get, but what does that mean? What that means to every single person is very different. That's why you have to ask them questions. That's why you also need to be an expert in what you are booking so that you can guide them through what their options are, because if you see like some of these suites on the cruise ships and all that, you're like, nobody books. How would those suites are always sold out. Okay. And you've heard the phrase, don't shop from your own pocketbook. Okay. But I'm saying don't let price intimidate you because there are people who want those experiences. There are people who want the VIP tours at Epic Universe. Okay. We know because the system at Universal keeps crashing. Although I heard it's back up. I was able to quote things, no problem, but anyway, that's a side note, but don't let that price intimidate you because sometimes people want an experience, more than a lower, because money gets you different experiences. Now, sometimes people will say, this is our budget. This is where they will be saying, we don't want to spend so much money. Listen to the vocabulary they're using when you are qualifying them. Okay. Because that will help you gauge whether this is a deluxe client or not. And when I say deluxe, I mean premier. I mean someone who wants an ocean view room versus a garden view room. I mean someone who wants an inside cabin versus one of the premier suites on a cruise ship. You don't know what they want, and more importantly, they might not know what they want. They might not know what is out there or what is available. Okay. So you have to make sure that you're showing them, okay, so if you book in this category, this is what you're going to get. You have to be specific. I always explain to them, like we'll use Disney as an example. I will say, well, if you're at a value resort, you're going to be at buses everywhere. I even use I try to explain to them, okay, so everything is a Disney resort. You're going to get the same experience in the actual theme parks. It's just more when you go back to the room. Your room will be smaller. Value resort, moderate resorts, they're smaller rooms. Your experience, there's going to be more people. So there's going to be a longer line for the bus. There's going to be And I always explain to them with the buses at the resorts, at the moderate and deluxe level, you have like a covered area, you sit on benches, like it's very laid back. At the value resorts, you're lining up in little stanchions, okay? And I that's one of my biggest differentiators between the two, because you want to be able to tell them like what this experience will be like. Some people don't care. Yeah, I'll line up. I don't care. So but again, explaining the experiences, because that's why they're coming to you versus a booking engine. So don't be intimidated to offer, and I actually made this mistake with clients recently. It wasn't a mistake. I pegged them more as a wilderness lodge. Like, so I priced wilderness lodge for them, and they actually wanted the contemporary. And they really liked the idea of being able to walk to Magic Kingdom and having the monorail. Like, that was more important to them than and I'm just such a sucker for wilderness lodge too. That's where we're staying in a couple weeks. So I love that place. I like the contemporary too, but if I had to pick between the two, I would probably still pick wilderness lodge. The So anyway, don't always make sure your clients know all the options. Okay, so now the next tip has to do with your expertise. Okay, so I mentioned in the first slide that you have to sell what you know. You have to be an expert. Excuse me. That also means you have to experience it for yourself. Now, what does that mean? Maybe it's not in your budget to stay at a deluxe resort or have a butler room at beaches or stay club level at Universal. Okay. But you can visit those resorts. Okay. Now, beaches, Turks and Caicos, that might be harder. But if you want to sell those places, you need to get yourselves there. All right. And whether that be forming a relate. So for Sandals Beaches, all inclusive resorts, there are so many fams, so many opportunities. Go out and experience these resorts, and they will show you the top tier categories because that's what they want us to sell. Okay. That gives you experience. So even though it's not your own personal vacation, you need to aggressively get into those properties. You have to have experienced what you want to sell. Same thing with something like a river cruise. All right. You cannot, I mean, you can sell a river cruise if you haven't been on it, but marketing and trying to get people to understand what is best for them. If you haven't done it yourself, or if you haven't toward I know the River Cruise Expo is a great, and they just had it with Asta, is a great way to see the different ships, see the differences between staterooms. I've never been on a river cruise, so I don't book river cruises because I can't advise people well enough to, confidently tell them, well, this category is for you, this category is for you. That's just me. I don't sell something unless I know it. And but yes, when I first started, I had never been to an all-inclusive resort. So I went to FAMS. I tend to stick with Sandals and Beaches mainly because of my celiac disease. I can't eat gluten, and I get very, very sick if proper protocol, like if they accidentally give me gluten. Sandals and Beaches has really great protocols for that. And I've never gotten, knock on wood, they've done it real. Oh, now I just made the one dog go bark. Sorry. Or she's just investigating. But anyway, that's why I sell them, because I know I can stay there safely and not get sick. Okay. That's something. So a lot of times, so I don't sell other brands because I don't know them, and I'm too, and I know that a lot of them do, what's it called? They will accommodate and things like that. It's just I feel very safe at that brand. Anyway, that's a side note. But again, it's experiencing it for myself. So I don't sell other brands all inclusive because I don't know them. But I can sell Sandals and Beaches because I know them. And I do use my points to paradise and do all the resort site inspections. When we were in St. Lucia last summer, I used my points to paradise points, and we stayed at La because that was what was available. But then I scheduled a site inspection there, and then I spent a day going to the other 2 resorts and scheduled a site inspection at the Grand, and then we just went to Halcyon, and we had dinner there, and I walked around. I didn't have time because we were only there 3 days. So, arrival day, 2nd day was, La Toc, 3rd day was the combo. But anyway, instead of sitting on the beach, I went and saw the other resorts so that I could have my firsthand knowledge because I hadn't been to St. Lucia yet. All right. You have to take the opportunities you have to experience the different categories. And same thing. So if you are a specialist in the Orlando area and you're going to Florida and you're doing what's it called? Disney or Universal, go around and look at the other hotels. Even if you're staying, it doesn't matter where you're staying. You can go and have a meal at like this. This picture is a perfect example. I wasn't staying at Animal Kingdom Lodge, but I went there for lunch at the Mara at their quick service. You can go and experience something, get the feel, get the vibes, take tons of pictures. Okay. And that is what we have to do. And that is what I did when I was a new agent. We went to Disney and I went through all the different hotels. Like I had never seen Art of Animation. Okay. Art of Animation had just opened. So that's when I start. That's a really good marker for like a career for like, when I started booking travel. Art of Animation had just opened. And so I really wanted to see it. So we went from Magic Kingdom. We took a bus to Art of Animation and I went and walked around and, my son and husband, my son was a baby. They were just in the food court chilling, having lunch. And I walked around and took the pictures and all that. And that's what we have to do. We have to experience, we have to take that time. And sometimes it is during our own vacations. And that's just how life is for us. Now, you can also decide not bring your family and then just do a whole big thing. And I will tell you, in the TA portals for Disney and Universal, and I don't know about other suppliers, but I know they have walking tours of the properties or like a self-guided fam. I just saw it in Disney Copyright yesterday. It's a self-guided fam. So look that up. And I know Universal has it in the Universal partner community, but invest in yourself because then that allows you to confidently I don't even want to say upsell. It allows you to confidently speak to the experience at all these different hotels. Because when you just look at price, why would I stay at the Contemporary when I can stay at Pop Century for a lot less? Okay, well, you have the convenience of being right next to the Magic Kingdom. You have a much bigger room. You have interior hallways. You have this, you have that. You have access to the monorail. To some people, they don't care. Pop Century works perfect for them. All right. And not to put down Pop Century, it is actually a great place. But other people want those interior hallways. They want that they want that proximity to Magic Kingdom, especially if they have little kids. All right. I remember when my son was little, when we stayed at the Contemporary, we loved it so much because you can just push that stroller right over to the Magic Kingdom. It was so easy. So experience it for yourself. It makes it easier to sell because you're talking from your own heart. And then just one more quick story. When I first started as an agent, I had not been on a cruise. Okay. I was a Spanish teacher. I had been to Spain a bunch. I had been to France. I had been to Italy, but I had never been on a cruise. So what did I do? I booked myself a cruise. And I will tell you, it was so much easier to sell a cruise once I had been on a cruise because I knew the experience. Like, and again, I keep saying I'm going to add more because I used to book all the cruise lines, but now I'm far more specialized because I teach agents too. So I have to manage my time. And, but I keep saying I'm going to add Royal Caribbean back, but then I keep booking Disney cruises. So, but for me, it's just that feeling of when you're on a Disney ship, there's something about it. And that translates when I'm selling somebody. That same thing for like beaches, Turks and Caicos. To me, that is one of the most perfect spots in the world to relax and enjoy. And my son feels the same way, so I can, that comes through when you are working with somebody, even if it's over email. It's just the way that you can explain it. It just gives you so much more. It makes it easier to sell. So you have to get out there and do FAMs. Do do your own site inspections. Take a day out of your vacation if you're going somewhere with your family and research other places. I will I love hotels. Well, of course I'm a travel advisor, but um I will also, like, so say we're going to Miami for the Marlins, to see the Marlins, because again my son wants to see all the stadiums. And I'm still looking at the hotels to decide which one we're gonna stay at for this one night. And, but I'm also thinking, okay, well, because Fort Lauderdale, we're sailing out of Fort Lauderdale on Disney, and then we're coming back, but Fort Lauderdale and Miami are, like, literally right next to each other. So I'm like, well, really, we should probably stay somewhere that maybe my clients would stay before cruising out of Fort Lauderdale. And then, and then the gears go in my head. Okay, well, maybe we'll stay here. I still haven't decided because I don't know, but we'll probably also go and check out just a couple of the different hotels just so I can get an idea of what is there. We have sailed out of Miami before. And again, it's just kind of, when you know the lay of the land, it makes you so much more confident. And confident is what makes people want to book with you. The Guitar Hotel. Love it. Okay, and then finally, this is a long one, guys. Oh my gosh. Well, I did talk 6 minutes about baseball, so that is what it is. Okay, and then you have to showcase, called this showcase the possibility, because some people just don't know that deluxe options exist. Like, I have an example here from my Facebook page with the club level at Portofino Bay at Universal Orlando. They don't know that you can get breakfast in the morning, fruit pastries. And to tell you the truth, at those hotels, it's really not that much. Like, the difference in price is not that bad, especially if you have a family of 4 or 5. Like, breakfast adds up quick, and they can really, I always like to say, when I'm selling club level, you're not trying to break even, but actually at Universal, I think you can. But you're doing it more for the convenience, but highlight that convenience. Isn't it nice when someone's ready, they can just walk down the hall, grab some stuff from the lounge, and either eat it there or bring it back? Like, it's just, it makes life easy. Now, of course, Portofino, their lounge is not near the rooms, but that's another story. But showing them that, hey, you can do this. And a lot of times people just don't know. And if they did know, they'd be like, oh, yeah, I'll do that. All right. We can't assume that they know all the different hotel categories and all the different perks of things like that. That's our job, to teach them what the perks are. And again, some people are fine with, oh, we're just going to pack Pop-Tarts, or, hey, awesome, you don't need to worry about it. But some people aren't. Some people would like to have that hot breakfast or the coffee made and the fruit pastries and having their lounge available to them all day. All right. So you want to make sure that you are not neglecting the possibility that there is with selling deluxe. All right. Well, I hope you have a great day. I hope you are not too tired from being up early. If you are a Disney or Universal specialist, I know you might even be watching this on the replay because you're on hold with one of those suppliers. It's been a day, but it's opening day of baseball, which means it's almost summer and we're going to get out of the cold. Of course, it's chilly here, but that just goes figure. All right, guys, I will talk to you again next week. Enjoy your weekend. Bye-bye.